February 23rd, a quorum is present, and the Minnesota Senate Education Policy Committee will come to order long as Senator Abler is ready. So I was talking to Senator Coleman and Senator Abler on the floor about an hour ago, and I had this epiphany of the hockey team shrouded in American flags and how proud they were to be Americans as they won the gold medal. And I don't think anybody asked them if they were Democrats or Republicans. They just wanted to make sure they were doing what they needed to do. And so I was thinking about that, and then I found out today is the anniversary of the 6 brave men who raised the flag on Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima. Today's the anniversary. And when Rosenthal captured that image that's entrenched in our brains of those 6 figures raising the flag on Iwo Jima, what most people that have seen that photograph don't know is 3 of those men never left the island. And Ira Hayes, if you listen to Johnny Cash at all, it could be argued Ira Hayes didn't make it home either, even though he did. And so I hope all of us today, tomorrow, just pause for a moment and think about put our politics aside, at least for a moment, if you can, and rejoice in the hockey teams and the, what would it be, the 82nd anniversary, 81st anniversary of one of the most famous photographs in world history, captured on Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima. So, we are kicking off the hearing today by hearing from 4 wonderful foreign exchange students sponsored by Youth Rotary. Thank you for coming in. Introduce yourselves before you speak, and welcome to the Senate Policy Committee of the Minnesota Senate.
Thank you so much. My name is Fiona Arinite. I am a youth exchange student from Uganda, sponsored by the Rotary Club of Roseville in St. Paul. I have loved my stay here because it has been fun. I've met great people, and the people here are very lovely. And because in my country, in Uganda, we don't get to see snow, so I was pretty much excited about the snow, though I know it wasn't good for people who use the road because it kind of gets slippery at times, but I love the snow, and I still love it. Though fall is my favorite season because I just love how the trees change from like the different colors, and it's really pretty. Yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Claudiu Pătrașcu. I am from Romania, and I am sponsored by the Rotary Club of Northfield. My experience here has been amazing so far, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing until the end of the year. My favorite thing has got to be school. School is just so much more fun, I guess, than school back home. There's not so much writing and just learning like a robot, basically. It's more interactive, and you can feel the connection with your classmates, with your teachers, with how everyone's so closely tied together. You have more group projects, and education overall, I feel, is in a much more developed state than it is in my country. And that has to be the biggest thing for me here, is that I just love the school system.
Hi, I'm Daniel Macia, and I'm from Spain, and I wanted to say thank you for having us, and I'm so glad I came here because people here are so warm and friendly, and I'm doing a lot of new friends, and I feel so lucky being here and meeting new people, and that's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nikolai Merton. I'm from Denmark, and I'm sponsored by the Egan Kickstart Rotary Club. My experience here has been very great. It was a bit problematic to get into the country. The visa situation was a bit horrible for me, but when I arrived, it all changed. Like, people were great. I think the work that the host families put into the exchange students' experience is amazing. The big thing about being an exchange student is that you're going to be a part of a family. You're not going to be a guest in a house. You're actually going to be a part of their everyday life. which is for me a big thing because I don't like being a guest. I like being a part of like a group, and I like it being a little bit like intimate. Like you're a family, which is great. School is different, which is great. I like all the differences. Like I didn't come here to like live my everyday life as I do in Denmark. So being in a different country with different everyday things to do, it's been great. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, time for one question. Senator Abler.
Well, I just want to thank the students for coming. I happen to be a member of the Rotary panel this morning and got to meet, greet them all. But it's wonderful you're here. You make our country richer for your presence, and thank you. God bless your time.
Anybody else? Thank you for your bravery. It's not easy to leave one's country and meet a bunch of strangers, and I think it was music to our ears when you said it's more the educational system's more developed. Your words, not mine, here because we have more fun in our schools than back home, and I think that was a wonderful thing to hear from you. So thanks for coming in today. Enjoy the rest of this school year, and again, thank you for your courage and bravery to enter this great nation. Thank you. Next, we will hear Senate File 2769. We're hearing the bill first. Senator Oumou Verbeten, welcome to the committee. Today, the intention is to send SF 2769 to the Higher Ed Committee. Senator May Quaid, would you be willing to move the Senate File 2769 before the committee? Senator Verbeten, I understand you have the A4 amendment.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Senator May Quaid, would you care to move the A4 amendment? So moved. All those in, do we have to do that? All those in favor? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Senator, begin your presentation. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Mr. Chair. I'm excited about this bill. It establishes a dual enrollment funding task force to take a serious data-driven look at how Minnesota funds dual enrollment programs and how that funding structure is working for students, agencies, and education institutions. Minnesota was the first state in the nation to pass a dual enrollment law in 1986, and it remains one of our most effective tools to reduce college costs, accelerate degree completion, and strengthen workforce readiness. I myself participated in PSEO and had a great experience, that's part of why I'm carrying this bill today. So according to the Minnesota Department of Education's 2025 rigorous course-taking report, participation in concurrent enrollment and PSEO has grown to nearly 50,000 students per year. As the program has grown, funding structures have evolved unevenly. Districts report administrative complexity, post-secondary partners navigate varying cost structures, and access still differs significantly depending on geography and student background. So this bill, Senate File 2769, doesn't change or rewrite statute, but it does create a structured, time-limited task force that will bring together funding experts, agencies, schools, and community stakeholders to study a number of things, including how current funding formulas operate in practice, where there are gaps, inequities, and unintended barriers, regional cost variations, administrative burdens, and whether adjustments can enhance the dual enrollment experience for all stakeholders. And you did adopt the author's amendment that I had. There's already been some feedback to make sure there's a good array of stakeholders at the table for this task force, but I'm sure we'll have discussion about that today in committee as well. The goal would be to deliver these recommendations to the legislature within the next year. And I'll just end by saying, to be serious about improving outcomes, I think we need really clear data and a coordinated input before making changes to this program. So this bill will ensure that any future reform has the appropriate foundations of evidence and stakeholder engagement and fiscal transparency. So thank you, and I look forward to the discussion today.
Thank you, Senator. We have a number of testifiers today. If you guys could come up in groups of 2 or 3, that'd be great. We would like you to limit your remarks to 2 minutes, and that would be wonderful and be very helpful. And to listen to the presenters before you, just to make sure you don't say anything that's already been said. We would also appreciate that as well. So with that said, Beatrice Handlin is next, and Rohan Sharma is online. So if Samia Mohammed can come up to the dais, that'd be great. Okay, begin when you're ready and identify yourself for the record.
We're actually going to have to drop Samia. She's a Senate intern right now, so she actually cannot testify.
Good reason to be excused.
Right? Okay, thank you. Hello, members of the Education Policy Committee. My name is Beatrice Handlin. I'm a resident of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. I'm a former PSEO student, and I'm currently the president of People for PSEO, which is dedicated to promoting, defending, and expanding opportunities through the PSEO program. I'm here today in support of SF 2769, which, if adopted, would establish a task force to analyze the dual enrollment funding formulas and make recommendations to ensure equitable, transparent, and adequate funding for all stakeholders. This task force is vital to the continued success and growth of the PSEO program. The program has now existed for 40 years, and the participation rates continue to grow according to MDE data. The program saves students time and money on post-secondary education and provides opportunities to students that may not have been accessible to them before. Students want to and continue to utilize this program because of the opportunities it provides. However, there are still gaps. Students struggle with access to information. See the report in the packet on information gaps on school websites, transportation, access to meals on campus, and there has been continuous discourse on the funding formula. This bill and task force will begin the work to address the gaps in the funding formula and provide solutions that serve all stakeholders. And I want to thank Senators Oumou Verbeten and Coleman for their tireless work on this legislation, and to the members of this committee for their time today. And I'm happy to answer any questions you all may have.
We'll pause for questions and comments after every 2 or 3 speakers, so if you can just stay up there until then. The next speaker is online. Rohan Sharma.
Hello, Mr. Testis. Am I audible?
Yep, we can hear you.
Got it, thank you. I'll begin my remarks now. Good afternoon, members of the Senate. My name is Rohan Sharma. I am currently an 11th grade student at Wayzata High School, and I'm here to speak to the critical importance of the PSEO program. I plan to participate in PSEO during my senior year through the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, and even now, the program has become central to how I am rebuilding and strengthening my academic path. My high school journey has not been straightforward. During my freshman year, I missed significant time while helping take care of my grandmother as she fought a losing battle against cancer, which opened my eyes to the lack of medical relief and kickstarted my interest in medicine. Then, after 10th grade, my family relocated to a new district, and I had to rebuild my academic footing at a crucial time from scratch. Points, it truly felt like trying to run a marathon with a broken leg. And that is exactly the reason why programs like PSEO matter. The value is real and tangible for thousands of Minnesotan students across the state. PSEO provides a second runway. It gives motivated students, even those whose paths were disrupted, a chance to step into rigorous college classrooms and show what we can do now. Just as importantly, financial accessibility is incredibly powerful. By removing the barrier of cost, the program opens doors that might otherwise stay closed and allows thousands of families to save thousands of dollars while building true college readiness. However, this program will only work if students know about it. When I began researching this, I had to dig very deep to find clear information about credit eligibility, timelines, strategy. If any student struggles to navigate the process, it is much more likely that others are likely missing out on it. Early and more student-friendly outreach, as well as alumni speakers from the program, would help make access far stronger across the state. Representation also matters. Any task force reviewing the PSEO must include actual students and parents at the table, who experience the barriers and the benefits firsthand. And policies are strongest when the people most affected to help shape them. After more than 40 years of success, the PSEO program is certainly worth celebrating and strengthening. Education has evolved, needs have changed, and a thoughtful review is not about fixing what is broken, but much more rather about making a strong program that much stronger. For students like me, the thousands whose paths haven't been perfectly linear, the program represents opportunity restored. If the program is allowed to thrive, its impact will extend far beyond individual students and into the future of our communities, workforce, and state. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the first two speakers from members? Okay, next up, we have Joe Nathan and Bob Driver. And Mr. Rogers is not in the audience, Kalik?
He's getting here. He's on his way, sir. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. My name is Joe Nathan. I've been a public school teacher, administrator, parent, PTA, member of the State Board of PTA over the last 55 years. I helped write, research this bill, law, in 1985. I'm old, and I wanted to provide a little bit of perspective. First, this was done on a bipartisan basis. Then Governor Rudy Perpich, a Democrat, and then Majority Leader of the House, Connie Levi, worked together. It was widely hailed as a remarkable piece of legislation. I was honored by the National Governors Association to do a report in 1985 about what governors should do to improve the nation's public schools, and this is one of the things that was recommended. It was recommended strongly by then Governor Lamar Alexander, who was the chair. It was recommended strongly by then Bill Clinton, who was the co-chair. So it has received national attention. It has been adopted in a number of states in a number of ways. I want to encourage you to take a look at the packet, which is headed Why Are Dual Credit Courses Valuable in Closing Achievement Gaps? One of the things that is important here, and the chair has been a strong supporter of this, as have many of you, is to hear a variety of points of view, educators, parents, students. This bill incorporates that, and I want to thank the author for including it. I want to thank you for hearing it today. But it's not just about the parent and the student perspective. It's about the impact of this. And so if you review this one-page document, you'll see that, for example, a University of Iowa professor finds significant benefits in boosting rates of college degree attainment for low-income students. The next quote, which I won't read because of time considerations, points out that males, lower achieving high school students and low-income students of all races appear to be the people who most benefit. I know you have a lot of material there, but I want to encourage you at some point to take a look at this chart, which is in the packet, that shows for every single racial group, according to Minnesota Department of Education data, there is a dramatic improvement in graduation rates, not only at high school, but also in college. And this is not just because kids who take these courses are more academically oriented, it's because there's something called the achievement impetus, which comes when people take this. Now, of course, anything that's 40 years old can and should be reevaluated from time to time, and there's more to say about this, which is why we want to have this. But I want to point out what this gentleman just said about the importance of really making sure that youngsters are getting information that the state legislature required. I was part of, and I'll make this my last point, I was part of in 2013 a negotiation that took place at between 1:30 and 2 a.m. on the last day of the session, where there was an agreement that high school students could tell students they could save money by taking college in the schools, AP, fine, our children that, but they also was stipulated that colleges and universities could not. So the agreement was that high schools would provide up-to-date information. That's the language in the statute, but unfortunately, as research that our organization and research that other organizations have done, the vast majority of public schools in the state are not providing the required information as stipulated by the legislature, as stipulated by the Minnesota Department of Education. Therefore, we think it's time to take a look at a comprehensive set of ideas, the funding formula, information, and other issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Swedzinski and the members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Bob Driver, and I represent 1,350 middle level and high school principals around the state of Minnesota through MASSP. I want to begin by saying we are eager to work beside you to thoughtfully reform PSEO. We believe in its promise, but we also believe in the need for reform. And when a task force is assembled, it would be most beneficial to have principal voices represented. We are grateful for the author for the amendment of adding a principal voice, but we also believe that there should be a perspective from our public urban, suburban, and rural schools, because they are all critical in making informed decisions about PSEO. PSEO was created to give eligible students access to rigorous, free college coursework. For many, it works exceptionally well. However, its rapid expansion has outpaced governance and oversight. Today, the program operates with inconsistent academic accountability and a funding structure that places real strain on K-12 districts. To ensure the program remains strong and sustainable for both students and schools, several targeted financial adjustments are necessary. Preserve base per pupil funding in home districts to maintain course offerings, implement a transparent statewide per credit reimbursement rate, set firm registration deadlines, prorate payments when students withdraw or fail, align billing cycles with district budgets, and reimburse schools for counseling and oversight responsibilities that PSEO occurs. We are hopeful that this task force will not only look at PSO funding, but will also look at other policies as well, reviewing adequate readiness, graduation outcomes, and attendance and grade reporting. At the same time, funding leaves the home district. Funding leaves the home district, even though schools continue providing counseling, scheduling, and academic support. PSEO remains a valuable option for our students in Minnesota. With thoughtful reform, we can protect access while ensuring sustainability and academic integrity. That's why we believe that we want to be recognized and sitting at the table to understand that our high school principals are boots on the ground and understand the intricacies of the program. Thank you.
Members, any questions for these two speakers, testifiers? Senator McQuaid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Driver, yes?
Yes.
How is attendance factored into PSEO students for daily attendance at school currently?
Typically, when we have a full-time or part-time, we, as principals, we don't get an attendance report. So we oftentimes don't know what the attendance rate is for a student who's in PSEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So let's say I was back at Eastview High School, I'm taking PSEO part-time, how would they log me then? Would it show me that I don't need to be present because I'm not in class that day, or I don't have classes there and therefore I'm gone, or do they mark me as present, or how would my attendance be recorded with my district?
Mr. Chair and the committee, you would not be marked because we would not know.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I don't know if you have this speculation on the top of your head, Mr. Driver, but what are 100% of secondary high school principals in favor of continuing PSEO, or is it 98, or is it 26? I mean, what would your gut say percent of secondary school principals would like to see PSEO continue as a result of this task force?
I think that principals, if you ask them honestly, they would say that there is a role for PSEO, and it's a good program. It's just a matter of now just trying to figure out how to reform it so that it fits currently in what's going on. 40 years ago, had the structure's still 40 years old. And so just moving that into 2026, and let's have conversations about how it's affecting school and ways we can work with each other to figure out how we can make it work. Yeah, we know that students, it's a great opportunity for students.
The next two speakers, our final two speakers, are Caleb Beckley and Leroy Swart. Begin when you're ready, and make sure you identify yourself for the record.
I'm Caleb Bukela, and I'm a current PSO student at Eastview High School. Go on. Okay. Huh? Oh, I'm good. So I'm currently a senior at Eastview High School, and for me, PSO has like enabled like a greater like choice and variety for class structure, because you have like in person, you have hybrid, you have Zoom, you have completely online. So it's allowed for me to like work on my schedule like easier in case I have like sports or work, which has been like pretty valuable for me. And the second part is it's not also like greater like control and like scheduling, but also I have like more classes that I can choose. Like for example, under English, the banner of English, there are several different topics, like there's like literature, composition. But I would also say it's not only those topics, but it's also subtopics in those topics. So like under, for example, literature, there's like introduction to literature, introduction to poetry, creative writing, African American literature. So I would say that variety is also like a second strength of PSO. And the third part I would say is that for me, like, which is the most important factor, is like the speed it allows in course advancement. Because for example, at Eastview High School, pre-calculus is like a 1-year class. But if you took it through PSO, it would be half a semester. So through the same time that a kid finishes pre-calculus at high school, they could get through pre-calculus and calculus 1 in PSO. So therefore, I think that it's critical that we include student voices so that we ground like the allocation of PSO funding in real-world experience instead of like abstract assumptions. And therefore, that's why I ultimately pledge like support in a task force for PSO funding.
My name is Leroy Swart, and I am a PSEO student at the University of Minnesota. A little bit about myself is that in 3 years of college, or 1 year after high school, I will be able to graduate with a 4-year degree thanks to PSEO. So I'll only be paying 1 year of college tuition and fees. Now, there's many bright students like me out there who also need this opportunity. However, they may not have the money for it. So PSEO allows them to get more opportunities in life. Could you imagine how many less people would be doctors or lawyers or engineers if PSEO wasn't there to provide funding to people? I also believe that this makes the student representation in the current bill very important, because it allows for these student voices to be heard, because they need to be heard so that they can do better in life. And I also think that PSEO is the future. Our high school system is over 100 years old. It was made for the Industrial Revolution. It was not made for today. So I believe that PSEO leads to more market efficiency, because I'll be able to get into the workforce earlier. Other people will be more educated when they get into the workforce, so they'll pay more taxes, they'll pay back into the system.
Thank you. Members, any questions? And thank you both for coming in and testifying. Appreciate it. Mr. Rogers?
Good to see you again. Absolutely. Hello. All right, colleague Rogers here, so thank you all for making time and space to hear from the young people, most importantly. Sorry, it's freezing out, so I had to rush to get here. So, colleague Rogers, just want to thank the committee for making time and space to hear youth voice. I'm the executive director of Catalyst for Systems Change. Some of you may have seen us come to the Capitol over the years, amplifying issues that the young people have identified for themselves. And on this particular legislation, dual credit, dual enrollment in PSEO is something I've experienced as a young person in high school. In fact, I wouldn't even be sitting in front of you all unless I had taken advantage of a topic such as this. In high school, I was a Gordon Parks High School student. I don't even want to say how much time went past since then. But in particular, I was seeking the opportunity to take PSEO courses. And To my surprise, it wasn't being taken advantage of by the young people at my school. So when I reached out to the counselors to ask about the opportunity in particular, to my surprise, I was discouraged to take on the opportunity. At times it had been, spoken to me as if a packet would be enough, was difficult enough, but for me and the future and the vision I had for myself, I knew higher education would be an important part of that. And so I told them, just plainly, those fears are yours, not mine, and I believe this opportunity will help me and also my peers continue to take opportunities such as this. And after passing those classes, all three of them, and one actually was public speaking, so I'm utilizing that skill now. That opportunity for me created a broader vision of possibilities. And I think those opportunities are important to not just leave in the hands of high schools or college institutions, but also to keep in mind and keep that student and parent choice. So thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Any questions for the author of the bill or comments? Senator Abler.
Thank you so much. Anyway, and not to you, but thanks for visiting me. I appreciated our conversation. I appreciate the expertise, and especially Joe Nathan and the voices of the past who put this stuff all together. So, Senator, I like your bill. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about this. My own one son did this, and so I appreciate the value of that. And many, many students get the value. And I think as districts are retrenching, I think even making this part of a system where some of the higher end classes might go here just as a practicality might make some sense. But that's just for the task force to figure out. We want to make sure everybody has a chance to be challenged at their level while they get their core stuff done. Just looking at the makeup of the committee, and I don't have amendments now, but I think there's some you might want to make going forward. I think the more inclusive you get the voices, the better product you're going to have, and it will actually keep this worthy program even better. So I'll just kind of go through a list. Maybe you'll take notes, or I'll write you an email or something. But I noticed on the amendment, we took out the private school thing, which I think you might just want to have one of those. Was there a reason for that? Or I guess I'll just ask that.
Mr. Chair. Thank you, and thanks for the question, Senator Abler. We just changed the way that they're brought on to the committee. So we have a representative from a private post-secondary institution. They're appointed by the commissioner of the Office of Higher Education. Okay, and I'm also on the higher ed committee where I think this is going next. So just kind of best practice to bring them on.
Rosanna, Dana, never mind. I noticed Mr. Weddle wrote his stuff on the very top of the packet, and I've really admired him over the years, and he suggests you bring some business contacts. Is that already in there somewhere? But he suggests the chamber and the business partnership, and they've been pretty zealous on high accountability, both accountability and expectations, so that might be friendly. And then the one, what's his name? The one that you talked to, Mr. Driver, suggested that maybe you want to have maybe 3 superintendents, not just the one, so from the, principals, yeah. But so you wanted to have, you had superintendents, but just somebody from each of the, if there's 3 flavors or something. And I'll just have one more thought, and I appreciate this. And also on the duties, you might consider a comparison, unless it's there. I don't know your bill very well. I just skimmed it just now, obviously. But a comparison of in-person versus online successes and costs. If that's not in there, it just would be something to look into. And I remember I had the privilege to attend the MSBA breakfast as an online attendee with my camera that didn't work. So I was way online. But there's some concerns which I think will be addressed by this method, but I'll express my opinion on the higher ed side. I don't think if you're gonna, if I use the word dump, but put a young student into an online course, that's anywhere near as expensive as having them come on campus. And I personally don't think it's anywhere near as good. And so as you try to make the budget land, if they're gonna do an online, well, good for you, but welcome to a third or half the cost. So I appreciate the work, and I might even add on if you don't mind. So thank you, Senator.
Mr. Chair.
Senator.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Senator Abler. I'm taking notes of all of that. Would be happy to have you on the bill. I think the piece about in-person versus online is a good part for us to consider. We did change the student representation to be one from the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area and then one from greater Minnesota. Just knowing the different experiences that our students have based on geography. So I can understand that need potentially for principals or superintendents as well, and happy to keep kind of workshopping that. And also just from the comments earlier, you know, I think Mr. Driver talked about per credit reimbursement rate. There's some things I really do want to discuss when we get to the higher education committee. You know, looking at how we've funded other things like the state grant, the caps that we have on what students are able to receive depending on the type of institution that they go to, I think will be important for this task force to look at. So I think there's probably a little more fine tuning on duties. I want to make sure that all those folks are at the table, and really appreciate the testimony from everyone today.
Thank you, Senator McQuaid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator Oumou Verbeten. I think this is a great bill. Far be it for me to agree with Senator Abler, but I think the addition of a principal based on geography might be helpful. I also, I'm interested in, and I'm not going to make any amendments. I trust that you'll do all these things before you get to higher ed or when you get there. But this question of attendance, it's something we focused on a lot in this committee, and I think it would behoove us to maybe add that lens in, because this is a population of students that we're then not tracking for attendance. And then there was one other thing. Oh, this is minor, but on 2.6 of the bill, one parent or guardian of a current or former student participating in dual enrollment. My mom ostensibly could fit that definition, but I went to high school a long time ago, so you might want to maybe make it time bound so that it's specific to now or recently. And I would actually posit maybe after the pandemic might be a good time-bound place for that. And then will this come to Ed Finance? Do you know, Mr. Chair? Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. I look forward to talking about it then. Thank you, Senator Verbeten.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator, for letting me sign on to this bill. I think that PSEO is such a great concept, but as Zeke and all the wonderful work they do over at People for PSEO know, that doesn't mean it's not outdated and doesn't need best practices looked at. And so I would encourage members to vote yes on this, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help as it continues making its way around the committees. And I'm just going to preemptively put in a plug that I get a spot on that task force when it comes to fruition. So thank you all.
Mr. Chair, yeah, thank you, Senator Coleman, for signing on, and appreciate your enthusiasm. I know sometimes we have to struggle to get people to participate on the task force, but yeah, this is great. I appreciate all of your support and look forward to seeing what changes you might want to incorporate in the task force. Are there any other questions? I had just a few other thoughts too. I wanted to share with the committee.
Senator Hochschild.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator Oumou Verbeten, for bringing this. I concur with what others have said. One thing I was interested in, in my region where I have very, very rural school districts, they're oftentimes financially distressed. They're making big cuts. They're cutting teachers. They're struggling with sort of affording students choosing PCO. That is not to say PSEO is not very, very good for those students, but I'm curious about some sort of opportunity for the task force to include, maybe doesn't necessarily need to be geographical, but some sort of representation from a financially distressed school or a school that has made cuts, or some sort of person that could represent that voice, just because it is a real struggle, something that's brought up by all my school boards. Ely, for example, is choosing to go to possibly a 4-day school week. Huge ramifications for that community and that school district. And oftentimes they equate some of those costs to PSEO. The other thing I noticed was there's no teacher representation on here, and perhaps that could be a good addition as well. So just a couple things. Thanks.
my jaw dropped. Thank you, Senator, on the teacher insight. That is very astute. I think that's it for questions. Any final comments? And congratulations on the newest member of your family, Senator.
Thank you so much. I'll have to make an appearance at this committee or some of the other education committees soon. But yeah, thank you, Senator Hochschild. I think just looking at, we've got a few different folks on this task force right now between like school board members, superintendents, principals. Just have to figure out the right balance to make sure we've got folks representing the entire state and the different districts, because the way they experience PSEO really varies. So we want to get those voices at the table, absolutely. I just want to say I think everything that we heard, especially from the students, really resonated with me as a former PSEO student. I graduated with, I think, 30 college credits by the end of high school. I was able to graduate in 2.5 years, saved tens of thousands of dollars, and that really helped me kind of fast track my career. And I think I only found out about PSEO through my older sister, who was in college at the time and had some PSEO students in her class, and I was like, this is something you should really look into. So it's a really good experience for the students, and we need to figure out the funding mechanism. This task force is really about figuring out how to make this funding work, because, especially those small districts like Senator Hochschild brought up, when they lose just a few students, it really can impact their budget. And then I think there's also some funding issues for students who aren't, accessing meals maybe in the same way, have transportation costs. There's a lot to look into and problems we can solve since it's been about 40 years since we've updated this. So hopefully we can take a look at all of that. I've wrote down a lot of your recommendations. There will be some amendments coming, I'm sure, and this will continue to work its way through the other education committees. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator. With that, Senator McQuaid renews her motion that Senate File 2769 as amended be recommended to pass and referred to the Committee on Higher Education. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Seeing none, this bill as amended has been moved to the Committee on Higher Education. Thanks for coming in and congratulations, Senator, for both things.
Mr. Chair. Sorry. Just before I leave, I did peek at your agenda, and if I can offer just a few comments. I know that you're going to be hearing from the P20 partnership. You should ask about the work they have been doing regarding dual enrollment. I'm sure you'll hear about it in the presentation, but relevant as we're moving this bill in the task force. And then there will probably be a bill coming forward for me later to fully fund the P20's work. They convene a great number of stakeholders in education, from all the way from birth and early ed to higher education as well. So I just wanted to make a plug for that and keep that conversation going. But I've got to run to Judiciary Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Next, we'll have a presentation from the P20 Partnership Executive Director Latant. Please begin when you are ready.
We'll just get our technical setup going. All right, we're going to assume that's working. Mr. Chair, committee members, thank you for having me here today. Josiah Latant, Executive Director of the Minnesota P20 Education Partnership. And very excited to be here with you today and talk about the P20 and our work. Great to be back before this committee again and appreciate your interest in what we do. Can you see my slides? Okay. Do you have printouts of them? Okay, great. So I would encourage you to look at the printouts while we wait for those to come up. Today I want to start by talking a bit about our work and how it relates to your work. Consider that a tease of what's to come. Thank you. All right, now I even have slides. So Minnesota's workforce and education challenges and all of our opportunities in your work span multiple committees, and in the work we do, they span multiple systems, right? So the challenges that we face don't exist just within one committee. But for your work and for the work we do in our schools and our colleges, often policy does sit separately in these silos. And so you are being asked to solve problems that cross a sector, that cross the span of a learner's experience, labor shortages, credential attainment, industry alignment, with siloed tools. And so what I posit to you today is that as we think across early childhood, K-12, higher ed, and workforce development, that there is fragmentation by design, and it creates inefficiencies and it creates inequities. So here on the bottom of my slide, we have the education to employment pathway. As we think about the entirety of a learner's journey from when they are born through their experience in workforce. The P20 is specifically focused on connecting cross-sector insight in our state policy conversations. So that is why we exist and where we see a real value add to the state, to our partners, many of whom are here today in the room, and to all of you. It is that collaboration across sectors, putting the whole learner at the center, thinking about the entirety of their experience and how we work across the seams of education and strengthen outcomes for each and every one of Minnesota's learners to influence change and to foster innovation. That is what P20 brings to the table. And so we are an education policy coalition. We are nonpartisan. We are independent, and we exist to identify priority issues in education and workforce development, in particular around policy. And you can see here on the screen the logos of our members. We have 28 member organizations, institutions, systems, and state agencies, as well as 4 legislators who serve on the P20 with bipartisan and bicameral representation. So we bring the entirety of the system to the table. What we are working to do in the P20 is to influence change and foster innovation and advocate for policies that address these priority issues and ultimately improve outcomes for each and every one of our learners. We were created by you and your predecessors in 2009. The legislature codified us with the goal of working cross systems to make policy recommendations to the legislature and to the state, with the goal of strengthening outcomes. It is our focus on collaboration between education systems and alignment with workforce outcomes that drives how we work. And we're squarely focused on Minnesota's future talent pipeline. And that includes folks who are in the workforce now, right? Thinking about training and retraining and other opportunities to engage with education. How do we help our learners move more effectively from education to employment and with stronger outcomes? Really what we see in the P20's work is the potential to influence social and economic mobility for Minnesotans. And that is our North Star. Our North Star is through education to improve social and economic outcomes for each and every Minnesotan. And so as part of the work that I'll be highlighting that we've done in the last year, we are moving to beginning to track some of these early indicators to be able to articulate really how our work influences outcomes in the state. From a very grassroots level in the work we do, all the way up to some of those most important stats and data points that we are looking at that indicate long-term success for our students. So how are we thinking about issues like access, like attainment, like workforce readiness? You see some examples on your screen here. These are not actual data points, but types of data that we are putting together. And by the end of this year, we'll have impact measures that really show how our work is driving and influencing that change and how we're keeping our finger on the pulse of those learner outcomes from early childhood through workforce. So the P20 really exists to think whole systems wide. And in front of you today, you have a copy of our annual report that we deliver to you by January 15th of each year. I encourage you to look through that. I'll be sharing a few highlights today, but it really gives you a sense of the breadth and depth of our work. And we've been doing a lot of growth and building of the P20 over the last 6 years. Though the P20 partnership has existed in statute and existed as a coalition for 17 years, we have been growing over the last 6 to really focus in on what is the sweet spot for our work? What is the value add we can make to the state? And how can we be an asset to our education partners in influencing education policy? Right now, our current priorities across the system fall into 3 buckets that I want to highlight for you. One is emerging policy work, one is statewide alignment, and one is leverage and efficiency. So around emerging policy work, a couple of highlights. Right now, in this past year, we launched a joint committee with the Governor's Workforce Development Board, the first such joint committee we are aware of between the P20 partnership and the GWDB, focused on strengthening the educator workforce. We all know this is a major challenge for our state and for many others, and we brought these 2 committees together to make recommendations to strengthen the educator workforce from recruitment all the way through retention throughout an educator's career. That joint committee is also partnered with the Governor's Interagency Workforce Alignment Task Force, and will be making recommendations in advance of the 2027 legislative session, looking at policy and steps that we can take to strengthen our educator workforce in Minnesota. This past year, and Senator Oumou Verbeten mentioned this a bit, our work around dual enrollment. The Minnesota P20 Education Partnership applied and was selected as one of 7 states to participate in a national dual enrollment project organized by the College and High School Alliance. That project is focused on having 7 states participate in developing a statewide vision for dual enrollment, and from that vision, driving recommendations to strengthen the intentionality of student experiences in dual enrollment and strengthening access and success for students participating in dual enrollment. So relative to the presentation you just heard, we really see this work as very complementary to the proposed bill. This work is not squarely focused on the funding model. We believe that it is essential, in particular if we're going to look at things like the funding model, that we have articulated as a state, what are we trying to do with dual enrollment? What are the outcomes we're seeking? Are students being successful? Is the program intentional? And when I say dual enrollment, we are talking the full ecosystem, right? So in our state, that's PSEO, and it's also concurrent education or college in the schools. We are thinking about all of those menu of options that students have the opportunity to participate in. We do not have an articulated statewide vision for dual enrollment. We have a 40-year-old statute. We have some amazing work that's happening at our high schools and at our colleges, but we need a vision to drive what it is that we are trying to do. So in the fall, the P20 will release its report with our partners. We're doing a lot of statewide information gathering, including surveying and roundtables. We've had over 3,000 participants in that work so far, including administrators, K-12 and higher ed, staff and faculty, parents, students, you name it. We will be bringing those recommendations forward to the P20 partnership for their review and hopefully endorsement to all of you on recommendations to strengthen that program. So we're very excited about that work, and the P20 is uniquely positioned in the way that we're facilitating this work to bring those partners to the table and to work cross-sector, because dual enrollment truly is an example of something that doesn't just fit squarely in high school or college, right? It crosses those sectors with a focus on post-secondary attainment and workforce readiness. We are also conducting this year a landscape review of supports for FAFSA completion. This has been an interesting topic around how do we increase FAFSA completion. I know there's been various proposals, including last year, around how to make that happen. At the P20 partnership, we discussed that it would really be helpful before we move to anything like that to understand what work is already happening in our state that is helping students to complete the FAFSA application. And so we will be releasing a research paper later this year with our findings and recommendations on the work that is happening there and really where we are finding evidence of what is helping students and families to successfully complete the FAFSA. And then finally, under our emerging policy work, we're working with our partners at the Education Partnerships Coalition, the EPC of Minnesota, to talk about how we move place-based work across our communities to inform state-level policy, and how we make sure that state-level policy is informed at the local level. and how we meld that together. The EPC is one of our P20 partnership members, and we've been participating with them and their national organization Strive Together, as well as the folks at Harvard Ed Redesign, to talk about how can we work collaboratively to move this work from the local level up to policy and back and forth with great intentionality. So those are a few of the highlights of the policy areas that we've been touching across the P20 spectrum. Ultimately, what we are talking about in our work is this middle category here of statewide alignment. How do we find opportunities to work with more intentionality across boundaries, across sectors? And so one example of that is how do we think about career-connected learning? Right, so this is a topic that crosses, frankly, early childhood through higher education. Many years ago, I was a preschool teacher, and we talked about careers with 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, right? And we know that work is happening across the spectrum. There is great work happening across Minnesota in career-connected learning. Part of the challenge we see, though, is there's great things happening here or here or here. What we're looking at is what are the opportunities to provide more resources, more support, more centralized resources to help lift that work up without mandating one model, right? How do we maintain the importance of the local in that work while supporting every learner across the state with greater intentionality in their career-connected learning? So we're working with some of our partners this year to gather a symposium. Hopefully some of you will be able to join us for that, to talk about the work that's already happening in our state and have the folks who are doing that work help identify where there is a need and opportunity for synthesis and for collaboration. The P20 partnership is always talking about integrated data. We were created under the same statute as Minnesota's longitudinal data systems, SLEDs and ECLDS. And we talk with those partners and others regularly about the need for integrated data, but also what we call integrated data action. The P20 is well poised to ensure that we are not just collecting and looking at data, but how are we using that to drive our policy priorities in education? And in particular, how are we looking at longitudinal data throughout the entirety of a learner's life? So those are ongoing conversations that we have and bringing those partners to the table to ensure that we're talking cross systems in that work. Ultimately, the P20 is supporting incubation, acceleration, and amplification of a number of promising practices across our state. As we move forward, you might look at this and say, okay, so what's the strategy here, Josiah? How is your partnership moving forward with that intentionality? This year, we launched the partnership's first ever strategic planning process in 17 years. It is our intent and our goal to have a strategy over the next 5 years that articulates exactly where we want to put our energy and what our priorities are. Again, looking from early childhood through higher ed into workforce, so that we are thinking systemically about the work we're doing in early childhood, how is that rolling into our priorities in K-12 and in higher ed and workforce development. We received almost $500,000 in private philanthropic funding this past year from the ECMC Foundation and the Joyce Foundation to support that work, to support our staff efforts to make that work happen. And ultimately to be able to bring good policy recommendations before you all. So we look forward to sharing those priorities with you in the next year as that plan is developed. We're also receiving requests from other states to consult with them on what we're doing here in Minnesota and what the P20 is doing, as there's a lot of interest in the way we are working cross-sector to advance education for all. Finally, what I'd like to end on today is just highlighting what our cross-sector reach is and why it matters. There are few entities in our state, and I would argue even in the country, that are focused across public and private, all ages, all systems, and all school and institution types all at once. Again, centering the learner in that work. We hope to be able to help you see how policy choices interact across silos and over time, and to be a resource for all of you in that work. We really feel that we have the capacity to be a tremendous tool for all of you and for our educational leaders in the state by virtue of our ability to build capacity, to bring people to the table consistently, and to provide structure to keep these conversations ongoing as we look to strengthen outcomes for Minnesota's learners. So please consider us a resource. Please reach out to me. My contact information is on the slides. We'd be happy to talk more, happy to collaborate, and appreciate the work you all do each and every day to help Minnesota's learners. And happy to take any questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for the presentation, members. Senator McQuaid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much for the really robust presentation. It's super helpful to hear. I have one plea and then just one comment to consider as you go through strategic planning. So there's nothing that I can think of more that is impacting learning, our workforce, and is many, many committees, also bipartisan, which is AI. And I think that if MNP 20's part of your strategic planning isn't to look at the impacts of AI, both in learning, entering the workforce, cognitive offloading. The makers of AI openly say, like, can't promise you it won't end humanity. So that's kind of where we're at. It seems like this is very, very ripe for looking at that, and I hope that you all do. I will just add to, I've always been a little uncomfortable with the idea of career-connected learning. I have a 3-year-old, right? And so, like, she wants to be both an astronaut and a fairy unicorn. She could be either. She can be whatever she wants to be. But I really want us to make sure that we are not looking at young people as like cogs in the economy, but like whole people who deserve an education to learn many, many things that they won't use in their career because it's worth knowing or it's worth being a critical thinker, right? And so that I'm always a little icked out when we're like, how can we like turn out what businesses need instead of like, how can we turn out the critical thinkers that make our world better? And so I hope that maybe we can work that in a little bit to some of our stuff. And I'm not saying but that's what I hear because I have a 3-year-old. So I appreciate the presentation a lot and see a lot of value in the work that you all do. And I'm glad that the strategic planning is underway. Always very good and valuable. So thank you for coming to the committee.
Thank you. Senator Abler?
Well, thank you. Fair unicorns, that's cool. It's like, I might agree with you on that. Anyway, just thank you for coming. I was reading your report here, and you're doing some PSEO work, and there's not time to go much deep into it, except that, like, you're coordinating the effort. We just had a bill about having a new effort, so it seems like we don't only want one effort. But can you just comment about how you're going to engage there? And so you're kind of doing this with 7 states, and just, you can offer a comment, and then I'll leave it at that, Mr. Chair. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator, for the question. I was hoping someone was going to ask me that. We really see it as complementary. So we were very intentional in our participation in this effort that it isn't focused on the funding model because the funding model is so robust that I think it requires its own effort that is also driven by the work that we are doing. Right, so as we are looking at that funding model, it's important that we're able to articulate what kind of outcomes we're looking for students, what kind of intentionality they should have in the process, what is it that we're trying to do with dual enrollment writ large. I appreciated in Senator Oumou Verbeten's bill the inclusion of the P20 on that task force to ensure that we're able to meld those together, because I couldn't agree more with you. We need to be working in similar directions, not opposite directions. So we really see this as this bill as complementary to the work we are doing, and they really fit nicely hand in hand together.
I made him happy. See, that's a good answer, but I appreciate the collaboration. Thank you.
And I want to thank, any members? Thank you. Not many groups, I think you used the word entity. Few entities look across all, economic and political systems as much as yours does. So I appreciate that you listen to all sides, to all issues, and it's really a nice thing to see. And I also, just an FYI, I'd like to echo what Senator McQuaid said. Let's not forget that not all people want to join the workforce. Some want to be stay-at-home parents, and some want liberal arts education that just they'll learn Shakespeare. Not really know what to do with it after school, but just, I just want to echo what Senator McQuaid said about that. Thanks for coming in today. We appreciate everything that you do to make those, all of our young people, E12, become the citizens that we know they can be.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members.
Okay. We will now hear a presentation from our Office of School Trust Lands by Director Vandelin. Please introduce yourself and begin, and then we'll take members' questions. Sorry about the mispronunciation of your name.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sure you're accustomed to it as well.
Thank you for knowing that.
And thank your committee administrator for pulling up my presentation because in my haste, I left without my computer today, so thank you. I'll just real quick go through it. The next slide, please, if you can, Emma. So just real quick, the presentation overview that I wanted to go through today was just talk real quick about the school trust endowment. Then I'll go through our 10-year revenue history, where we're at. Give you a little bit of, I know you're a history teacher, so I'll give you a little bit of the history and background again on it. And then really wanted to focus on some of the work that our office has been doing over the last 10 or 15 years. Next slide, please, and thanks. So when I think about the school trust, I think that it really has two assets. One of those assets is 3.5 million acres of land and mineral assets. The other asset is a financial asset. So when we've converted our land and minerals to cash, that's deposited in the permanent school fund. So we have a financial investment of $2.3 billion plus the 3.5 million acres that continue to generate revenue every year. So of that $2.3 billion, the pie chart that you have in front of you shows you where all of that revenue has come from. 80% of it historically has come from iron mining and mineral revenues, 9% from forestry, 7% from real estate, and 4% from investment returns. When I talk about that, that is not 80% of the 2.3, it's 80% of the cash basis. So right now, the cash basis of the investments, it's just over $1 billion. I think it's a 1.1 billion. So that means the value of our investments are 1.2 billion, the financial assets. So this is used every year to spin off revenue to school districts. But if you could switch real quick before we get there. So how do we get all of this money? And it really comes down, and I said it's timber, real estate, and minerals, but my office, or the Office of School Trust Lands, does not manage any land. We are an advisor to the executive branch and the legislative branch, and in particular, that means that I work very closely with DNR on all of their things that they have to do for managing the land, whether it's timber sales, real estate leases, mineral leasing, mineral royalty agreements, things of that nature. So if you look at that, it says 90% of our annual revenue right now comes from minerals. I actually redid that calculation this weekend. Over the last 3 years, our mineral revenues have been declining based on the commodity prices and some of the things that are happening in the overall economy. Our mineral revenue in 2023 dropped to 67%. Our mineral revenue annually last year, or in 2024, dropped to 60%, and this, just in 2025, it was just over 50%. So we are struggling from a mineral side of it, and that's where the majority of our revenue comes from. And I will get to it in a couple more slides just to show you where we're at. So, but this money that is in the fund, this $2.3 billion, spins off interest and dividend revenue every year. That is what the Constitution allows currently, is that we distribute interest and dividends only to K through 12 education. So over the last 10 years, it's been over $300 million that has gone through K through 12 education. That's all of your K through 12 public education, or school districts, and the 81 charter schools receive a payment. So what you're looking at, the bar graph on there, is this school year was distributed to the school districts on the ADM calculation. So the average daily membership was $58 million went to all schools. I recognize that that is a drop in the bucket for education funding. But I do like to point out that that $58 million does not have to go through a legislation process or an appropriation process. That goes straight to school districts twice a year, March and September. They get a half a payment in September and a half a payment in March. You can go to the next slide, please, Emma. Thank you. So I mentioned before that our revenues are down over the last few years. When I last presented, Chair Swedzinski, the slide on the left that says annual gross revenue, that was $48 million in 2023. That was our annual revenue in 2023. Last year, it was $28 million. That's gross. And then the other slide that's there, that's actually a screenshot of all the school districts in the state that is on the Office of School Trust Lands website. It is interactive. You can go to any school district and click on it. It will tell you how many students are in that school district and what they received or what that school district received in a payment for that year. So it's a good little resource. I know some use it, some don't. I know DNR uses it when they go and talk to county government, so it's good to get used. And I will switch chair to history if you'd like, so Emma. So this is, I take great pride in this. I'm a native of the state of Virginia. I'm a huge Thomas Jefferson fan, so I get to work on things that Thomas Jefferson put his hand to paper to back in 1785 with the General Land Ordinance. I take great pride in that. It probably might be the only time I've smiled during this whole presentation right now, so I apologize for that. But so Minnesota is a little unique. When we received these lands, they were set aside for us in our Constitution, in our Enabling Act. We received them at statehood in 1858, and we were the first state to receive 2 sections of land in a township. So a township's 6 square miles. We received section 16 and 36 in those townships. States before us received only 1 section. And just to give you an example of why it's important to maintain the land ownership and the surface and how much these can be worth. We had one 40-acre parcel in Minnesota at the Hull Rust Mine that produced more revenue than Iowa, Wisconsin, and Michigan received for selling all of their school trust lands at statehood. So we need to retain these lands. We need to retain our mineral interests and just keep managing them. Because it is a perpetual trust. Will continue to grow, and it'll continue to spin off revenue if we continue to manage it properly. So if you could switch to the next slide, I just want to show you real quick where all the land is. So at statehood in 1858 and then some successive federal grants, we had 8.1 million acres. As I said, we have 3.5 today. That's 2.5 million acres of a unified surface and mineral estate, and a separate 1 million acres of severed minerals. I still say 3.5 million acres. But you can see that the top half of the Minnesota, right? You can see the top half of the state of Minnesota. We sold off everything in the southern part of the state. I think in from central Minnesota to the south, I think we have roughly 400 acres left. And it's just over in Big Stone County, if I remember correctly. So not a lot of land in the south. All of our land is in 10 northern counties in Minnesota. Most of it, as you can see, is in Kuchichin County. There's 800,000 plus acres in Kuchichin County that doesn't generate a lot of revenue. It's a lot of swampland. You'll also see that this map does show the tribal reservation boundaries. We do have school trust lands inside reservation boundaries. Most of those came to us through the Swamp Act and not through the federal grant. So it was or not through the enabling legislation grant, excuse me. So that is something we're working on. I'll just put it to you that way. It's slow process, but we are working to resolve some of those issues. Can you switch for me, please? Thanks. So just switching real quick, Mr. Chair, to what our office does. As I said before, we're an advisor to the executive branch and legislative branch, established in 2012. I was appointed in September of 15 by Governor Dayton, and then have been reappointed twice by Governor Walz. What we really do is work with the Permanent School Fund Commission and work with DNR on its long-range planning. So with the Permanent School Fund Commission, a number of meetings, number of advisory memos, a number of statutory changes, things that we do. I think the next bill that you're going to hear is a change to my job duties. So just a little foreshadowing there. But our strategic planning with DNR is, it's been tedious. It's taken quite a long time, but I think my mom used to tell me good things come to those who wait. We've been working on this asset management plan for the better part of 6 years now. The last 2 years have been solely focused on understanding DNR's management cost structure and what the costs are to manage the school trust lands. And we hope to have a report back to the legislature next year that will lay out exactly what we believe the management costs are and what an appropriate cost allocation methodology will be. So how we actually account for the cost to manage the lands. So it is, I think it's, well, it's going to take some time, but we're going to get there. And I think the last thing that I really wanted to just talk about, if you could just switch real quick, because I think we're running a little short on time. So these are the priority recommendations that came out of that asset management plan that we were working on. Really, it's the cost allocation methodology, but some of the other things that we're really looking to work on is number 4, and it's at adapting our portfolio to address climate change risks and opportunities. And some of the things that we're working in that fashion is around peatland restoration. Done a number of work around peatland restoration and some workshops around that. And also working with NRI and some other groups on geologic sequestration, which is a novel approach to securing carbon in our mineral estate. And so with that, Mr. Chair, I think I'll be done. Few references. If you, the next slide is just a link to our website. If you click the apple in the book where it says revenue generation, that'll take you to the map if you wanted to see the interactive map. And then the next slide is just where all of our minerals come from. That's the mine view in the sky. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, thank you for that wonderful presentation. It's nice to see your efforts, the amount of money, 58 million this past year. That number's gone up over the last 10 years, and it's just through your efforts. So thank you for that. And your pride in one of our founding statesmen didn't escape me. And so is it Monticello or Monticello?
Monticello.
Okay, I just need to hear from a Virginian what they thought. So anyways, with that said, next we will hear Senate File 3584. Senator Hochschild will be presenting as co-chair, or co-author, excuse me. Today the intention is to send SF 3584 to the Committee on Environment, Climate, and Legacy. Senator Hochschild, would you like to make a motion to move SF 3584 before the committee?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Oh, Mr. Chair, it's 9-4.
We just caught that. Thank you. Everybody that caught that. 3594. Thank you. Did you move it?
Yes,
the new bill?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so moved. Thank you, Senator Hochschild. You can begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks for the presentation. This was an important issue for my region of the state where a lot of these school trust lands exist. This bill before us, this is Senator Kunesh's bill that I'm helping present, updates Minnesota statutes governing the school trust land director to strengthen transparency, accountability, and fiduciary management of school trust lands. The legislation modernizes reporting requirements and clarifies the director's responsibilities to better reflect how those trust assets are managed. The goal is simple: to ensure that school trust lands are managed like a professional trust, focused on long-term value for Minnesota students. The bill is needed because school trust land exists to generate revenue for Minnesota public schools, as we just heard. The director already operates under fiduciary obligations, but current statute contains outdated reporting language, requires inefficient quarterly presentations rather than comprehensive reporting, does not clearly specify key financial and performance information that lawmakers should be receiving, and legislators, beneficiaries, and the public need clear, consistent annual reporting tied to those outcomes. So, Mr. Chair, with that, I'd like to pass it to Mr. Vandelin to sort of go over the details of the bill, and we can take questions from there. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Senator. Continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just move straight to Section 2. It doesn't really change anything in the first part of my duties. I will say that without those changes, we're basically just maintaining the fiduciary responsibility that I have to the trust. And I believe that aligns with current fiduciary management practices that we've seen in other school trust states and with other fiduciaries. So I think what Section 2 really does, and there are some changes in Section 1, that I had a reporting requirement, Mr. Chair and members, that required me to report publicly on these things every quarter. I've been unable to do that for various reasons, and don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But modifying this to an annual written report, I think it's going to be more comprehensive. It's not going to be on a quarterly basis. And, you know, it's just, I'm sorry, we don't have a full picture every quarter. You don't get a full operational picture of what's happening with the trust on a quarterly basis. You get it less so on a biennial basis, that is one report that's required right now. But if you were to compile it on an annual basis, and this says that on January 15th every year that I would, or my office or the school trust lands director, whoever that may be in the future, would submit this report. So what we're looking at really is a profit and loss statement for the trust that looks at how much was earned from the land and minerals, how much was deposited into the trust, so gross versus net revenues, how those funds were distributed to school districts, how SBI used the funds to invest it, what they produced. So really what we're looking at, Mr. Chair and members, is just better information, give you better legislative oversight, and a stronger return for schools. It's really an accountability and a transparency issue for my office. Again, I don't know if I said this before or not, but this statute is my job description. And I can't meet my job description right now. So changing to a reporting structure, annual reporting structure, allows me to do that and to represent the trust more appropriately, I believe. Thank you.
Members? Senator Hochschild, any final? Senator Abler?
Oh, no, I've been here a while, just never been at a committee where we had the director to redesign his job to actually make it work. So government should work. And the difficult takes a while, Mr. Chair, but the impossible takes longer. So anyway, thank you.
Any final, and I would echo what Senator Abler just said, appreciate, and thanks for not throwing anybody under the bus. It's nice to have that. Senator Hochschild, any final comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I concur with Senator Abler and Mr. Vandelin. I mean, I think the big thing here is that we're dealing with mineral revenue, forestry revenue, and when we're going over these reports or hearing from Mr. Vandelin, I want to make sure that we're getting the most up-to-date information and a whole picture of what's going on. A lot of people who follow this might be up in northern Minnesota and they're really acutely aware of how this all works. The rest might not be. So let's make sure when we actually have these reports in front of us that we're really, really clear on what we're truly looking at holistically. I think an annual report makes sense, and then this gives Mr. Vandelin the chance to really collect the data he needs in order to accurately provide us the information we need.
Thank you both. With that, Senator Hochschild renews his motion that Senate File 3594, well done, be recommended to pass and refer to the Committee on Environment, Climate, and Legacy. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Seeing none, this bill has been moved to the Committee on Environment, Climate, and Legacy. Thank you both. Next, we will hear Senate File 508, The intention is to lay this bill over for possible inclusion in the future omnibus bill. Senator Mann, would you like, when you're ready, to make a motion before the committee to lay it
I would like to
over?
make that motion.
All those in favor, correct. I understand, Senator Mann, you have the A2 amendment.
I do, Mr. Chair. Yeah, so the A2 incorporates changes made last year for schools that have combo elementary, middle, and high school students in the same building, and it clarifies that does not apply to virtual classrooms.
All those in favor of the A2 amendment, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, the motion is adopted. Senator Mann, to your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So 508 would ban cell phones inside of our classrooms. The evolution of technology is outpacing our ability to react to it. And there is mounting evidence that cell phones are taking a serious toll on students' ability to focus in the classroom and on their overall mental health. We had kids in front of this committee last year and the year before that asking that something be done about cell phones in our schools. So we spent a summer traveling around the state to gather more information. And while traveling across districts, we heard stories of kids taking pictures of tests, taking and sending pictures of each other without consent, sending naked pictures of classmates to group chats. In one district, we asked if kids had ever seen a naked picture of a random classmate, and the majority of the kids at this round table shrugged their shoulders and said, yeah, like it was no big deal. Now, every single district that we talked to, without fail, said that students are having a hard time concentrating, difficulty participating, and that the constant notifications of cell phones going off in the classroom distract the entire class. And students are socializing less face-to-face. Administrators and teachers also noted the increase in conflict between students because of cell phones, increased incidences of cyberbullying, and increasing conflict between teachers and students. Again, these things were said in every single district that we visited across the state. So in response, many schools across the country and in our state have gone cell phone free, and these schools report improved culture, students paying more attention in the classroom, more social interaction among students. I have not found one report from any school or any state in our country saying that they brought cell phones back to the classroom because removing them had a bad outcome. Not one time. Florida, Indiana, Louisiana, California, Virginia, South Carolina, and more already have statewide bans on cell phones. Many states have pilot programs in place, and some have policies in place, like Minnesota. In summary, this bill is really very simple. It takes into consideration what was asked of us from across the state by the school districts. It restricts cell phone use in K through 8. It restricts use in the classroom 9 to 12. And how it's done is absolutely, completely up to each individual district. With that, Mr. Chair, I believe we have many testifiers.
We do have many testifiers, and I will be asking each testifier to stick to the 2 minutes. So, but we're quite anxious to hear from everybody. So thank you, Senator Mann. We'll wait for questions and comments until all the testifiers are done, unless you have something specific to that testifier, members. So with that said, just come on up, each and every one of you, as soon as you can. See a space at the table. We'll try to keep this as efficient as possible. Just begin your remarks as soon as you can and identify yourself and then begin your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and honorable members of the committee. My name is Katrina Ball, and I come here today as a parent who has advocated for a K-12 bell-to-bell personal device policy in School District 542 in Battle Lake. I am here to support Senate File 508, but I'd also like to stress that this bill does not go far enough. My advocacy for this issue began when my 4th grader came home last year to share that his classmates brought phones, iPads, and other devices on a field trip bus. I hadn't considered our district technology policies, as I assumed that it wouldn't be an issue in elementary school. For the most part, it wasn't, but I was shocked when I began asking our high school community. Our high school's personal device policy left enforcement to teacher discretion, so it varied by class and was a daily battle. One teacher spent at least 5 minutes each period getting students to put their phones away, and additional time was often spent addressing the social media conflicts that would occur between classes. Another witnessed students sharing pornography in the hallway. Several noted no conversations at the lunch table. Students' heads were down, scrolling feeds and checking notifications. I had a hard time accepting that this would soon be the normal environment for my children's educational experience. I decided that I needed to advocate for something better right now. I had no idea how difficult that would be, even for a school district with only 400 kids K through 12. For over 8 months, I spent time attending board meetings and contacting administrators, teachers, parents, and school board members with research and solutions. Despite many frustrations and setbacks, I persisted, and while our policy is flawed, our district ultimately adopted a K-12 bell-to-bell policy and plans to keep it in place. While advocating at the school district level, I became convinced that Minnesota needs statewide legislation to remove personal devices for the entire school day. Smartphone and social media addiction is a public health crisis, and it affects all students grades K through 12, regardless of their size or location. All students in Minnesota deserve to have the entire school day to focus on learning and have opportunities for in-person socialization. If we truly believe in educational equity, we must ensure protection for all students, not just those districts with parent advocates or strong leadership who will push to do the right thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and honorable members of the committee. My name is Grant Eustace, and I am a high school teacher in District 196, Eagan, Rosemount, Apple Valley, and Eastview. I'm also a parent, 3 boys. My district currently utilizes a phone policy similar to the one proposed today. Because I live this reality daily and am often the one charged with policing these devices, I am here to support this bill, but also to tell you it is not enough. By allowing high schoolers access to personal devices during passing periods and lunch, we are robbing them of a truly distraction-free environment. To safeguard student focus and social development, this policy must move to a full bell-to-bell all-day ban. While some view a total ban as maybe authoritarian, I think that perspective ignores a basic truth. School is, by design, a curated environment. It exists specifically to filter the world into developmentally appropriate, controlled experiences. We don't ask students to navigate the real world without guardrails in any other facet of education, and I don't think technology should be any different. We are currently in a battle for student attention against a clear villain, and that is big tech. Platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram profit by hijacking the dopamine and executive functioning of our youth. This is our generation's big tobacco moment. Australia and France just banned social media for teens, and many other nations, the entire EU among them, are poised to adopt similar legislation this year, all while we in Minnesota continue to grant students unfettered access to these platforms between every class. This makes genuine face-to-face socializing a thing of the past. On average, teachers lose 35 minutes of instructional time daily simply managing device collection. This totals 98 hours, or more than 4 days of lost learning per year. The cognitive switching cost of a single notification can derail a student's focus for up to 23 minutes. As state leads for distraction-free schools, my teammates and I advocate for a school environment that maximizes human interaction from kindergarten through 12th grade. In the last few years, 19 states plus Washington, D.C. have already passed bell-to-bell legislation supporting this idea. A comprehensive bell-to-bell phone-free day, including the removal of earbuds and smartwatches, is the only way to prioritize student well-being and restore the social skills that have been eroded by constant connectivity. I urge you to strengthen this policy to ensure our schools remain places of learning and not scrolling. Thank you.
Thank you both. Next up, Rob Reeds, Olivia Onuvar. And if we could just be ready, if you have the list available of testifiers so we can keep this moving as efficiency as possible. And I apologize to all the people that are, all the testifiers that are going to be here, and to the last two in particular, that we can't hear more of your insights and observations. So, but time is of the essence. So thank you both. Identify yourself and proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Rob Reitz. I'm principal at Mounds View High School.
In my 2 decades as an educator, I've come to view disengaged student behavior as a product of suboptimal conditions. This is why schools must strive to create an environment that both fosters learning and reduces opportunities for students to make poor choices. Creating these conditions is why I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. I want to state clearly, students' access to cell phones in the classroom yield distraction, disconnection, and disinterest in even the most creative lesson plans. This is why, to start the 23-24 school year, Mounds View High School implemented a plan to consistently restrict student use of phones from classroom to classroom. Our plan was informed by parents and designed by teachers, and I cannot stress how important it is that the people tasked with implementing the plan be the designers of it. Teachers support what they help create. In the year prior to implementation, our teachers studied the student experience. They engaged in observations, interviews with groups and individual students, and they surveyed parents, students, and their colleagues. 2 things were clear. Cell phones in classrooms were harming both learning and relationships. Teachers, parents, and students all supported eliminating the distraction of phones with one caveat. We could not compromise a parent's ability to hear or read their students say, "I'm okay, we're safe." So the plan our teachers developed didn't ban phones outright throughout the school day. Students were tasked with placing their phone upside down in the pocket of a caddy hanging on the wall, and this became a common entry routine for each classroom. What made it more consistent is teachers took attendance by scanning the phones in the caddy, and if an assigned pocket was empty and the student was present, a quick nonverbal gesture typically resulted in compliance. When it didn't, a success coach responded, and we used consequences, confiscating the phone for 2 straight days, as leverage for ensuring compliance improved. In a school of 1,900 students, we have fewer than 3 phone referrals for non-compliance a day. By restricting phones in this way, we can achieve the outcomes we seek: increased engagement and learning without completely banning phones throughout the school day. As I shared earlier, it has been my experience that a majority of parents, fearing the very things that drive our school's practice of standard response protocols, expect to know in an emergency situation that their child is safe. Regardless of legislation or policy, many parents will send their teenager to school with their phone. We cannot go back to students trying to hide their use, especially when we know we can cheaply and consistently restrict access in classrooms and in ways that ensure engagement and learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Olivia Anwar. I am an 11th grade student and I go to Egan High School. So being a student myself, I know that phone use in schools need to be regulated. And in a time where students are struggling with mental health issues and they might feel alone at school, real connections are what matters the most right now. And that's why I think that regulating the use of cell phones in classrooms, I think that that would help a lot for students to be able to speak to each other and speak to their teachers and be able to get their homework done in class. Because in an environment where students have their phones in class and they have their phones at home, they may be distracted and they won't be able to get their work done at all. But having an environment where they're able to do their work in class and then go home and be able to do whatever they would like after school can build a well-rounded student. And I think that education now can be very important, especially for our generation now, so they can use their critical thinking skills for their futures and their careers, whether they go into college or the military or straight out of high school they go to a job. I think that my only concern would be maybe just tweaking the bill a little bit so that K through 8 will only have the phones banned in the classroom instead of outright in school, because there's still some safety concerns with that. That's my only thing with this bill. I believe that it's a very good bill to pass. I feel like when my phone is not in the area, I feel more connected with the people I'm with. I have had times where me and my friends will put our phones in a stack while we're hanging out, so we can actually spend time connecting with each other. And I feel like I've made the most memories when our phones were out of the picture versus when we're all just sitting on our phones and we're not even paying attention to each other. Yeah.
Thank you both. Next up, two people, are we, Mr. Loff and Ms. Mioja?
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony this afternoon. My name is John Loff, and I serve as the Advocacy Coordinator for Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, or SAVE. We are a Minnesota-based national suicide prevention nonprofit focused on advancing our mission through education, advocacy, lethal means safety, and support for suicide loss survivors. I'm here today to speak in support of Senate File 508. Cell phones are now a constant presence in the lives of young people. While they offer connection and access to information, they also introduce continuous distraction, social pressure, and exposure to harmful content, especially during the school day. The issue before us is not whether cell phones have value, it is whether unrestricted access to them in the classroom is interfering with students' ability to learn, develop, and maintain their mental well-being. Increasingly, this answer is yes. When students have constant access to their phones, learning competes with notifications, social media, and peer dynamics that do not pause when class begins. This leads to reduced attention, disrupted instruction, and increased anxiety. They're pulled into a parallel social environment that can include comparison, exclusion, and cyberbullying in real time, even while sitting in a classroom. The school day should be a place where students can focus, engage, and feel some distance from the constant demands of the digital world. Without reasonable boundaries on phone use, that break does not exist. From a suicide prevention perspective, this matters. Increased exposure to social media stressors, cyberbullying, and online harms is associated with higher levels of anxiety, depression, and feelings of isolation among youth. Creating structured environments where students can disconnect, even temporarily, is a meaningful protective factor. Senate File 508 is a practical and balanced step that helps ensure classrooms remain spaces for learning, attention, and in-person connection. Over the past year, SAVE has worked with educators and partners to examine how policies like this can best protect students, support their learning, and improve their quality of life. We recognize that some would like this bill to go further, and we welcome the opportunity to work with them and with this committee to strengthen these efforts. We commend Senator Mann and all those working for bringing this forward. SAVE is proud to support this legislation and encourages continued action to create safer, healthier environments for young people. Every student deserves a school day that is free from constant distraction and social pressure. This bill gives them that chance. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you to the committee and Mr. Chair for allowing me to speak today. My name is Liz Namioya. I'm a school board member in Inver Grove Heights Community Schools, and I'm the newly elected director of District 7 for the MSBA. I'm here today to speak in opposition of this bill, along with the Minnesota Association of School Administrators and the Association of Metropolitan School Districts. I ask you to leave this statute as it is. There's really two issues we're talking about here, and I absolutely recognize there are so many concerns with cell phones. Our districts recognize that. We are all creating policies that address those issues. We can go down a really deep, dark rabbit hole on those issues. But what I really want to focus on today is that we are talking about local control and local governance in our school districts. I'm asking you to trust your local school district that they know best for what is best for their students and their staff in their classrooms. There's really unique needs in every school district across the state of Minnesota, Minnesota, and I'm really appreciative, at least in Inver Grove Heights, that we have the ability to adapt and change as needed. There's a laundry list of differences in our districts that I'd point out, from technology to school safety and communication, and why we have our policy the way it is. But I'm going to illustrate with a recent example. In the last 2.5 months, Inver Grove Heights has had a really hard time. Our students have felt incredibly anxious and fearful and unwilling to be in the classroom. And there's no connectivity if they're not there. But one of the ways our kids have been able to go back into the classroom is they have had the ability during passing time and during lunch to be able to just check in at home that everything's okay and that their families are going to be there when they get back. That is the reason we'd like to be able to continue to work on and adapt and even pivot if we have to on our cell phone policies. It really is, we haven't made any changes yet, but if you asked me in November what it would look like in January in our school district, I wouldn't have been able to dream this, and I don't know what it's gonna look like in March. So we'd like to keep the flexibility and ability to adapt and change and address these issues as they come up at the local level. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Thank you. Our next two presenters are on Zoom. Dr. Tierney and Dr. Realmuto. So if you could begin right away. Thank you, the previous testifiers.
Thank you, Chair Chizinski and honorable members of the Senate Education Committee. As a parent, I am Dr. Anna Tierney. As a parent in the Bloomington Public Schools, as a licensed psychologist, I recognize the importance of thoughtful discussion about the risks associated with cell phone use during the day. I have two daughters, one in elementary school and one in middle school, and I've witnessed firsthand the rapid increase in cell phone and social media use among our youth in schools. In my clinical work, I consistently observe increasing anxiety, difficulty with the sustained attention, emotional dysregulation, and social conflict that is often fueled or amplified by digital communication during school hours. Conflicts that once ended at the school doors now continue through text and social media in real time. Academic focus is interrupted not occasionally but persistently. For many students, there is no break from comparison or peer pressure. I appreciate that this bill takes a thoughtful developmental approach prohibiting cell phone use during the school day for students in grades K through 8 and limiting classroom use for high school students. The distinction reflects what we know about brain development. Younger students especially benefit from clear boundaries and protected time for learning and in-person interaction. I also appreciate that the bill includes medical and individual exceptions. Implementation must be supportive and inclusive. As a mother and as a psychologist, I believe prevention is the best intervention. Digital literacy education matters. Education and boundaries work together. We must also support parents. Many families, I hear it all the time, are struggling to navigate when to introduce phones, social media, and how to set limits. Clear school policies provide shared expectations and make it easier for parents to reinforce healthy boundaries at home. As I drive to work in the morning, I watch children standing together at bus stops, and no one's talking. Their heads are down, their screens are up, they're not connecting. They should be engaged with one another, making eye contact, laughing, having ordinary conversations that build resilience and confidence. It is in those small moments and interactions that children learn who they are. Instead, many are standing alone, even when they're standing right next to someone. As an eating disorder specialist, I see the constant comparison and online pressure are doing what they're doing to our boys and girls. And the school day should not amplify that. It should provide for relief from it. We cannot remove technology from their lives, but we can give them protected hours each day to focus, to connect, and to grow without the constant pull of a screen. Please help us give our children back the space to speak to one another, to build confidence face to face, and to be kids. Thank you.
I'm going to go next. Good afternoon, Chair Schwarzinski and members of the committee. My name is George Realmuto. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist and Professor Emeritus at the University of Minnesota Department of Psychiatry. I'm a resident of Apple Valley. I am representing the Minnesota Society of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry and the Minnesota Psychiatric Society. Recent research on the social, emotional, educational, and mental health effects of cell phone use among K-12 students calls for action. As psychiatric providers who closely follow developmental aspects of youth and the scientific studies related to development and mental illness, we are concerned about the public health consequences of unrestricted smartphone use in schools. Studies show adolescents spend more than 90 minutes during instructional time on devices, which is associated with poorer physical health, mental health, and academic outcomes. And I have a reference for anyone who wants that. Smartphone platforms are intentionally designed to capture attention, often exposing youth to harmful content that undermines healthy identity, development, and relationships, while families have limited ability to counter these influences. We can offer our students something safe and wholesome while they are in our care at school. We support Senate File 508 and commend its thoughtful approach, including funding for implementation and appropriate disability accommodations. This legislation provides schools with the needed authority and support to address smartphone-related harms through a consistent public health approach. Regulating student phone use should not be left to individual districts. We should not make cell phone regulation a local school choice question. Big tech has already removed that choice from our decisions through sophisticated algorithms. This bill supports a public health choice that gives local school boards the authority to find solutions. This bill enables schools statewide to create safer learning environments by limiting harmful exposure during the school day. One more point to Dr. Tierney's point about kids are not interacting with each other. They're interacting with their best friend, their phone. That doesn't happen at my school stop. My school stop has a number of elementary school and middle school students. They are Mr. Eustace's children. And that tone that he has set for our cul-de-sac has meant kids are building snowmen and running around before the school bus gets there. It's a delight to see. Get the phones out of their faces. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take any questions if you have them.
Please. Kyle Chen and Michelle Krell, if you could proceed. And members, I apologize that we may go a little bit over, and that's on me. But just to members, I apologize.
Hello, my name is Kyle Chen. Like my previous testifier, I am also from Egan High School and I'm a junior. Without an amendment, I cannot support this legislation. I'll tell you why. It is, for the most part, I can tell you that I agree with the majority of this bill. Right now in my school, we have phone caddy systems where we don't have phones in the classroom. And this makes sense because we don't have the notification feeling when we have that. And that acts as a really good means to not have distractions. However, my concern here is with page 1, line 14 and 15. Whereas K through 8th grade students will not have school, phones from bell to bell. This is my concern, and a majority of it is safety. About a month ago, my father sent me and my sister a message during school. The message was, "Don't come home, ICE is at our door." And my sister walks home from school. But if she did not have her phone on her person at that moment, she would have been in immediate danger if she had went home. In middle of December, my school district, 186, had experienced shooter threats. I parked in an alternative parking lot, and I come to school late, which means I had not come to school in time to hear the announcement telling me I should get out of school. The only reason why I got out of that school is because I had my phone on me. The fact of the matter is, I agree that phones serve as an immense distraction in the classroom, but banning them from schools altogether for K through 8 is not sensible. In fact, it acts as danger for our students. I'm asking you, for the safety of my family, for the safety of my middle school sister, and for the safety of my peers, that you amend this bill on lines 14 and 15 on page 1 to ensure that you ban schools from classrooms K through 12. This is my recommendation. Otherwise, I cannot provide my support for this legislation. Thank you.
Chair Swedzinski and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak today on Senate File 508 on behalf of the Minnesota Elementary School Principals Association, MESPA. I am Michelle Krell, I'm the Executive Director, and I represent 1,100 elementary and middle-level principals across our state. As educational leaders, our mission is to create the best possible learning environments for Minnesota students. During the 2024 legislative session, you asked MESPA and MASSP to develop cell phone guidelines. In response, we created a cell phone toolkit that included guidelines, model policy, communication, and research-based resources. We shared it with every principal, superintendent, and school board across the state. This toolkit empowered school leaders to develop policies that work for their communities while prioritizing student success. I recently reached out to K-8 principals across Minnesota to ask how implementation was going, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Principals report students are engaged and focused without cell phone distractions. They report a decrease in students leaving class to check their phones and fewer classroom disruptions. Social media conflicts during the school day have declined. Teachers are able to teach without interruptions. Students are talking to one another and interacting socially. Most importantly, students are turning to a trusted adult instead of their phones. When something is wrong, they seek out staff. That strengthens relationships and allows schools to solve problems in real time. We believe that schools are successfully implementing current policy. Most K-8 schools have banned cell phones during the instructional day, but not prohibiting students from bringing phones altogether. Many students are home alone before and after school. Parents leave for school before their children return after them and may return after them. Families rely on phones for safety and coordination before and after school. Schools have successfully balanced both priorities, requiring phones to be stored in lockers, backpacks, classrooms, or kept in the office during instructional day, while still allowing access outside of school hours. We support strong, clear limitations on cell phone use during the instructional day in K-8 settings, with flexibility that allows principals to implement policies that work for their communities while prioritizing student needs. This is about protecting instructional time, strengthening student relationships, and ensuring our youngest learners are fully present while honoring legitimate family safety needs. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment to Minnesota students.
Thank you both. Lastly, Mr. Driver, Mr. Funk, and on Zoom, Ms. Hockert. And if you guys could just, do your best. Okay. 2 minutes, thank you.
Again, my name is Bob Driver. Thank you, Chair Swedzinski and the committee members for allowing me to speak today. I'd also like to say I was a proud teacher, and sitting next to me was one of my students. We won't say the year, but I'm proud that...
like 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago. So, at Richfield High School, so it was awesome. So, again, my name is Bob Driver, Executive Director for the Minnesota Association of Secondary School Principals, representing, again, 1,350 school leaders from around the state. As Michelle alluded to, our associations have engaged in numerous conversations with principals and district leaders across Minnesota regarding the implementation of local cell phone policies in response to last year's legislative guidance. Based on those discussions and reports, it is our conclusion that Minnesota schools have taken meaningful and effective steps to align the direction provided by the legislation and the toolkit provided for each school district. Today, what we are seeing across the state are thoughtful, locally developed policies that reflect the unique needs of each school community. These policies align with Senate File 508 and are working. They are reducing classroom distractions, supporting student engagement, and creating clearer expectations while still allowing flexibility for principal or school administrator discretion. Minnesota principals take the responsibility to protect student learning environments seriously. They have demonstrated that they can respond responsibly and effectively within the framework provided. Systems take time to change. Creating a new normal takes time, and we are well on our way to making that happen. The work currently underway in schools across Minnesota reflects thoughtful planning, community engagement, and deep commitment to student success. Allowing schools to continue implementing and refining their local policies will produce better long-term outcomes. When we create the space for schools to assess, adjust, and improve based on lived experiences, we strengthen both the policy and the people responsible for carrying it out. Thank you for your time and commitment to our students.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I am Dr. Mike Funk, Superintendent of Stillwater Area Public Schools. We serve approximately 8,300 students, and to our knowledge, we are the largest district in Minnesota to implement a full bell-to-bell cell phone restriction, pre-K through 12th grade. I'm here to share about our story about electronic device implementation. In Stillwater, a pre-K bell-to-bell restriction works. It works exceptionally well. In more than 20 years as a school district superintendent, it is the most positive shift in school climate and classroom focus that I have seen. Particularly in our high school classrooms, they are way more attentive. Hallways are more connected. Lunchrooms are louder because students are talking to each other again. Staff report fewer distractions and fewer conflicts tied to social media during the school day. We have seen a significant reduction in physical altercations. But our success did not happen because the state mandated it. It happened because we engaged our community over many months. When the initial cell phone law came out, most districts moved to adopt something to be in compliance with the new statute immediately. In Stillwater, we took a different approach. Our board studied the research. We surveyed students, staff, and families. We hosted expert presentations in public meetings. We had honest conversations about student anxiety, distraction, and learning. We did book studies. Students initially believed phones were not a problem. Many adults shared concerns for and against a ban. That tension was part of the process. Because we did the work locally, when we adopted a consistent bell-to-bell approach district-wide, it carried credibility. Families understood the why because the district took the time to have a community conversation. Staff felt supported, students adapted quickly. At first glance, it may seem counterintuitive for a district that has implemented a full restriction to urge caution about a statewide mandate. However, our experience is precisely why local control matters. Having served as a superintendent in West Central Minnesota, Southern Minnesota, and now the Twin Cities Metro, I can assure you that districts vary significantly in size, geography, culture, and community expectations. What works in one community may require different implementation in another. Successful trust requires trust, implementation requires trust, communication, and local ownership. The legislature has already taken an important step by requiring districts to adopt a cell phone policy. This establishes accountability while preserving flexibility for districts to design what works for them. Thank you for your time.
One final speaker online. Are you up? Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to still speak. I know you guys are running short on time. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Katie Hockert, and I am a school board member from Stillwater Area Public Schools. Today, I am here to testify on behalf of the Minnesota School Boards Association. I am speaking in opposition to a mandate for cell phone ban and in favor of maintaining local control for our school boards to govern their districts under the current requirements of having a cell phone policy in place. Stillwater has become a model for successful implementation of our pre-K-12 bell-to-bell personal device ban. We have attended MSBA and AMSD conferences, and many districts are very encouraged by our success. This achievement is directly tied to a community and district engagement process that took months to work through. Our superintendent, Dr. Funk, just spoke about our extensive process, so I'll focus on just the impact. I recognize that my position in opposition to this bill may seem incongruous since we have already done more than what would be required in this bill. However, our success came because of our authentic conversations around negative impact cell phones cause in schools, and we had the freedom to align our policy with our values. This bill threatens the environment that created our success. I believe, I understand, and frankly agree with the intent of this bill. Cell phones are a problem in our school. My concern is that if a cell phone ban is mandated, the community conversations around why this benefits our kids will lose their authenticity, replaced by a statewide campaign with a prescribed message, followed by a focus on meeting the minimum requirements of the law. Furthermore, without buy-in from our families and students, they will likely fight compliance, creating unnecessary drain on teachers exhausted by enforcement. There is some acknowledgement of this added effort in the bill itself. Ultimately, this ban might unintentionally undermine the motivation to enact policies like ours, which is a bell-to-bell ban, which I believe is counter to the spirit of this bill. I'd like to just emphasize the message from my fellow school board member in Inver Grove Heights and ask that you please trust your fellow elected officials with the flexibility and adaptability to navigate our ever-changing and unique educational environments. Thank you so much. I'll stick around for questions.
Thank you. Thank you, testifier. Senator Abler.
Well, thanks, Mr. Chair, and I think we kind of already had this debate, and I thought we had a successful thing, and but Mr. Chen, I think that's his name, that was the most novel comment I've heard, Mr. Chair, where ironically I'm on the side of protecting kids from ICE issues, so I think that's pretty cool. And I think that he's correct, and I think we want to consider that and the safety issues that come up, but I want to commend Stillwater District and the other ones that actually sorted this out. And just one final comment, Mr. Chair, they're at the front lines. I mean, we're sitting here at a table, and here we are in St. Paul, and just want to encourage my good colleague that, maybe just let them do what they're doing. I don't know where the votes lie on this. Somehow it did not happen last year, which I was relieved about. But the law we did is working, so just let them be successful. Let them do it district by district, and we let school boards actually matter. Thank you.
Two others, questions or comments by members. Senator Bold. Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be brief. I want to say a thank you to Senator Mann for all of your work on this over a long period of time, having the conversations in community all over the state. I think we are hearing what is happening now is not working. We are hearing from students, we are hearing from teachers. I hear about this a lot from folks all over. One of the earlier testifiers mentioned that this is this generation's big tobacco moment, and I think there are parallels there. The health impacts of cell phones, especially on our kids, are abundantly clear. There is overwhelming evidence that this is a problem, and this is something that should be addressed. It feels, I appreciate your work on this because it feels like we are getting to the point of acting too late on this. I think we are going to look back and ask ourselves why we did not do this sooner and wish that we had. And so I think, I appreciate your work on this. It is the right thing to do for our kids, and I thank you.
Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Mann, on line 1.14, it says, beginning in the school year, school districts, charter schools, cell phone policy must prohibit cell phones and smartwatches in school for students in grades kindergarten through 8. So based on this language, is it the intent that students in grades kindergarten through 8 cannot have a cell phone in school at all, even if it's kept in their locker or their backpack?
Mr. Chair. No, so it's a bell-to-bell ban, essentially. So when school starts, their cell phones are put away. They can be in their locker or whatever. The beauty about this bill is that the school can decide what happens to that phone, but they cannot have it out during passing time or at lunch like we did for 9 through 12.
Mr. Chair, Senator Mann, I would recommend that we put some more language around that. I'm for local control. I feel like school districts, we have elected school board members. My personal opinion is we should allow our school districts to come up with the policy that's already mandated in state law. However, the way I read that, what you said and what I read are different. So if this is going to move forward, Mr. Chair, I would recommend that you clarify that. And here's the reason why I'm saying that. I have an 8th grader who swims on the high school swim team. And I was not excited about him getting a cell phone in the first place. But what I will say is it's been very handy when he's in Winona and he has a swim meet out of town and we have to pick him up when he gets home because he's not driving yet. And when he gets home from his swim meet, he lets us know, or we can track him on the cell phone tracking thing, whatever that's called. But it is helpful for him to have a cell phone. And again, the way I read this, my interpretation would be that would be prohibited. Based on what you said, it's not. So just some clarifying language around that I think would be helpful.
Thank you, Senator McQuaid. Our last comment or question?
Well, besides Senator Mann. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Mann, thank you so much for your work on this. I have been part of a bipartisan group of legislators from across the country working to regulate and hold big tech and AI accountable for the harm that they've brought to our world. This is one of those harms. There is no way for a child to have a device that is meant to be addictive. Social media is designed to be addictive. If you are not addicted to social media and you're on it, congratulations, you're the exception, not the rule. AI is meant to actually collect so much personal information that we would never even give to our dearest friends so that it can sell us more stuff, and it's meant to be addictive in that way. It's an absolute crisis, and we have seen states, red, purple, and blue, pass these, and I would agree with some of the folks who came. I wish it was bell to bell for K through 12, but I think this is a really good start. I'm 39. I'm younger than the PSEO law that we were talking about earlier. I was also on the swim team when I was really young. Kids have, come home before or after their parents for a long time. Like, we have ways to communicate with one another, but big tech wants to convince us that there's no possible way that a child can exist in this world without a cell phone, and that is not true. There are phones in schools. Adults have phones. Coaches have phones. After-school program leaders have phones. What we don't need is big tech continuing to prey on our children. And that is why this has to be statewide. There is no way for us to say, well, a child who lives in Duluth is actually safer from predatory behavior from big tech than a child who lives in Apple Valley. That's just not true. And so we need to do this statewide. I know that there's folks who are across this spectrum, but the teacher from Apple Valley, who is in my own district, gave a really, really clear and concise argument as to why we need to do this statewide. So I'm proud to support your bill, and it is something we needed to do. And I think Senator Bolden's right. It might be too late, or we might be coming at this very late, but at least we can do it now.
Thank you, Senator Mann, and thank you, members. I'm sorry about the rushed status but I wanted to make sure we heard from all of our experts and school board and superintendents and principals and teachers and students and parents. I think for me, the takeaway that resonated the most was the person that said standing alone when standing next to each other. What a testimonial to what the problem we have. And when Senator Bolden talked about, and others did too as well, about big tobacco, this could be that issue for this generation. And I'm struggling with this, even though I am a co-author between local control and Article 13 of the Minnesota State's Constitution, which gives us the express duty of creating a general and uniform system of public schools. And I just don't know what to do, but I'm going to err on side of Article 13 that says, let's create a general and uniform system of public schools, especially on this issue, even though I do respect and admire all the testifiers that said, let us make our own policy. So with that said, Senator Mann, any final comments? And thank you for bringing this bill forward. It's the right thing to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We heard today that this doesn't go far enough, and we've heard that it's gone too far. So I think perhaps we found the sweet spot. We keep hearing about the detrimental effects of cell phones in schools, and we are relational beings. We need real connections. This is necessary for us to feel belonging and for young people to learn how to navigate relationships. These are learned skills that we are taking away from our kids. We heard that we need buy-in from local entities, from their teachers, and someone said teachers support what they help create, and this bill allows for that. We also heard from every single person who testified in opposition to the bill that cell phones are a problem, and when they were taken away, everything pretty much got better, and everyone has good positive outcomes. And so everyone agreed today that cell phones are causing a problem. So why wouldn't we codify a statewide solution? The biggest opposition, of course, was local control, and I get that, but this bill allows for each district to do exactly what they're doing. It doesn't change anything that they're already doing if they're already following the policy that was put out a couple years ago. So this allows for each district to have local control on how they carry this out. Red and blue states across the country have passed laws to protect our children, Mr. Chair, and I just think that we need to be next.
Thank you, Senator Mann. We will, Senate File 508 will be laid over with as amended for possible inclusion in the Education Policy Omnibus Bill. Sorry, members, for going over 17 minutes. I humbly apologize, and thank you, audience members, for attending today.